Can you tell us about yourself, please?
Okay, everyone already knows me. My name is Kendall Ananyi. I'm CEO and one of the founders of Tizeti. Tizeti operates as Wi-Fi.com.ng in Nigeria and Wi-Fi.com in Ghana. And we just recently launched WifiCall.ng. I'm a Y Combinator founder, winter 2017, along with a bunch of other YC companies. And we launched formally about 5 years ago, and but we've been doing this even much longer than that.
Yes, so like you rightly said, Tizeti has been in the business of providing internet services to people, to businesses. But there was on the street that you guys are going into VoIP services. So can you tell us why?
Where we're going into work. So for us, our actual mission as a company is to be the #1 voice, video, and data services provider in Africa. And we feel we've had enough traction with delivering data services. We already have more than 500,000 customers on our data network, and next thing for us is now to launch this voice service on top of that, to layer that on top of the network. Okay. We're still laser focused on the data part of things. We're moving into other cities. We're going to be in 4 cities by the end of this quarter. Okay. But we feel that right now is the best time to have launched the voice service, because even if you look at the space today, there's no one offering the kind of voice service that we're offering, and it's something I'll tell you about as we keep on talking.
Okay. So what's the unique proposition about the Wi-Fi call app?
Oh, so Wi-Fi call. So one aspect is the app, and the second aspect is the portal. But the most important thing is a voice service that actually is being offered to a bunch of different people. If you are a single user downloading the app, you have access to an unlimited calling service, which nobody offers today in the market in Nigeria. It's something that is available in the US and other developed countries, but you don't have an unlimited calling plan in Nigeria today. A plan that you can actually call actual real numbers versus having internet-based call. Okay. Then if you're a business, we're providing additional services that you would not get if you don't have a full-fledged PABX, queues, interactive voice response. Those are things that normally you would have had to spend a lot of capex to buy that out. But for us, we're providing that service just at the cost at which you would place a phone call. And the cost is really cheap. It's 12 kobo per second. There's no plan cheaper than that in Nigeria today. The best you can get would actually have a daily access fee, but this is a call plan that is the cheapest in the country today. So beside the fact that as a single user you can get unlimited, even as a business user, the price per call is way less than anything in the market. And then beyond just being for businesses, it also gives you access to very powerful APIs for developers. So if you want to create any voice-based application, you can do that with our APIs. One of the simple ones is what we even use ourselves, the login code API, where you can actually use over OTP over voice. Something that is available in the US, banks in the US, you can just verify instead of via SMS, via voice. But you can't do that today in Nigeria if you don't have APIs for voice. And that's one of the things we're offering to developers, where they can even extend the applications beyond what we've offered for the businesses using our APIs.
Okay. So sticking on the app itself, right? The call app, how does it work?
So the call app is very simple. You go to iOS or Android store, you download the app, you register with your current phone number, and then you download the app. Wherever you have Wi-Fi or any data service whatsoever in Nigeria, you can then access the app and just place a call of any regular phone number. So it's not one where the other person has to also have the app. No, you can place a call to any number whatsoever, be it any of the major telcos or any of the tier 2 internet providers that provide voice. And then, but calls within yourself is it's free. We're not even charging that if you're calling people. And then you get an actual phone number, which is the difference between us and most other services that you have. You actually get a Nigerian phone number on the app itself, so people can actually call you back. People that don't even have the app can call you, just like the way you can call them too.
Okay, that's important. Okay, so now let's talk about the price. From a price point of view, I seem to understand that to use Wi-Fi call app, there's a cost attached to it. So 6,000 naira for unlimited access in a month, and pay as you go for 12 kobo. So I understand that this is a business, and at times you have to pay for things. But looking at it again in the market where you have other services like WhatsApp calls that enable you to call people using your data. You have Skype, even Slack has options for you to call. So how are you able to still think, okay, let's do this for a fee, regardless of all these people in the market?
Very, very good question. When we're looking at pricing, we were like, what is the price point that we can still build a sustainable business and is affordable for users? We cast our mind back to the BlackBerry plan. The first BlackBerry plans were around 5,000 naira a month, which is something that 5,000 range is where people can affordability starts, more or less. Then we also looked at the point at which, with the way of unlimited calls, there'll be people that are abusive, would do a lot of calls, and there'll be people that won't do as much calls. The average of all of that will allow you able to provide this service. There's another cost to us, which is VAT, right? Everything is VAT inclusive in telecoms. So when we looked at everything, we saw that the price point at which we can build a sustainable service is about 6,000 naira a month. Now, when you look at the other services, they're great services, but it relies on both parties having good internet connection. That is not something that is always readily available in Nigeria. You could start calling a WhatsApp call, and in some situations, you end up switching to actually just say, okay, let me just call you directly. By the time you do all of that and look at the cost of everything, and the fact that our data consumption on Wi-Fi call too, because that's another thing, we don't push that much, but there's a lot of compression on the voice codec itself that we're using. The data consumption is not as a lot, that the cost of the call makes it economical for someone to say, okay, at 6,000 they get the direct benefit for it, one being sustainable. Because there's one thing to start a service and then stop. We've shown that with our unlimited internet, it's not something we started and stopped. People have always wondered, people have come and gone, large telcos have come close to our price point, but they've never been able to provide a sustainable service. For us, as long as you get people coming in at the right price point, because we could say, let's do an unlimited call plan for 1,000 naira, we get the whole Nigeria. Then 2 months from now, we're like, we're sorry, which is the typical thing that other businesses have done. We cannot sustain it at this price, we're going to raise it to 6,000. Or even more, because then you're trying to cover the losses between where you have this unrealistic price and the actual price per second. But we've also provided the pay-as-you-go option where, as low as 100 naira, you can still get value from it at 12 kobo per second. You'll find out that once you now know your actual usage, and if you're a heavy talker, you can then see the benefits of actually switching to the unlimited plan, or switching back down too, if you could also try the unlimited. But I can tell you that even with the unlimited, the demand we've had for the unlimited, the businesses want it. But we need to have done it for a few months to understand how business consumption is, because business consumption is all over the map. You can't really say every business has different amount they spend monthly. Before we even started Wi-Fi call, we're spending almost 20 a month on calls, but different businesses have different use cases. But when you look on the business side, the value is straight up there. It's not about even the core cost, the features, because those features are enterprise features that you would really have had to spend a lot of money to get those features. I'll give you an example, bulk dialing. Nobody does bulk dialing. If you want to send one message to thousands of your users, you can't do it anywhere other than relying on your staff with a phone, on a mobile phone, topping up their mobile phone and say, okay, start calling. At the end of the day, they will tell you that they called everybody. What's the evidence that they did that? But with our enterprise feature, you can see all of the calls of all the individual users, and you can even send a single message to a number of users. Those kind of features, bulk dialing, the interactive voice response, which is a menu program where welcome to Techpoint, press 1 for media, press 1, 2 for sales, those kind of things. It gives your organization a professional, even though you're a small business, but we're providing that service to you at just the cost at which you're going to incur calls. We're giving you a phone number, interactive voice response. If you want queues too, if you want a situation where multiple people can answer the phone at the same time, you can have that too, all for no additional fees, no cost. And all of your calls are stored in the cloud, in AWS. They're there for you to look at it, to review it, to QA it if it's a call center.
So from a price point, what's the benefit of having why do you have to pay for a Wi-Fi call app when there's a WhatsApp, when there's a Skype, I can do probably all of these same things as well?
Okay. The price is the cheapest in the market, like I said, 12 kobo per second. So for individual users who are on the pay-as-you-go plan, where they can top up with 100 naira, they already see value from it. But that's not the only value you get. The second one is the fact that with the unlimited plan, you can pay 6,000 and call anybody you want to call. But these are actual real phone numbers versus WhatsApp that relies on both parties having good internet connection. That may not always be the case in Nigeria. We have cases where you've started a WhatsApp call or a Skype call and then you have to switch. But if you now switch over to the business side of things, even a small business, we're providing features like an interactive voice response, which is like a phone menu system, where, for example, for Techpoint, you can say, welcome to Techpoint, press 1 for media, press 2 for sales. That gives you that professionalism. And these are features that you normally need an enterprise PBX and a whole team supporting that. For us, we're not providing at any cost. It's just the cost at which you're placing the calls out. And then you get an actual phone number that people can actually call. So it's not a case where everybody has to have the app in situations that you call for WhatsApp or Skype. You know, anybody with a mobile phone or a regular phone can actually call your actual number. There's also international calls. You can place international calls to the US, crystal clear, and they're high def. Then still on the business side, there's also queues, where if you want a situation where you want to call someone and have multiple people receive it, multiple users under your own company receiving the phone calls, you can have the queues, which is something that the only way you can get it today is if you have a call center and put in a lot of money to put in a call center system. For us, you can get that because it's all cloud-based and very easy. Then all your call recordings are in the cloud, you can access them. And if you want to do things beyond the features we've provided for you, with like the IVR and the queues, if you want to do things, you can actually then integrate the APIs. The APIs are available, as simple as just getting the API key, and you can do things like integrate the calls into Slack so that you get all the call notifications in Slack and you can review it. Same things like an OTP, placing a web call too. You can actually do that too with our APIs. And even one that we even integrated ourselves is on Twitter. If you DM at WifiCall NG and just say sign up and your phone number, we'll store your phone number, and that number we can use to call you and place a call between you and any other person. And whenever you want to call that person, you can just do hashtag WifiCall NG and the phone number of someone you want to call. Immediately, the system will place a call between both of you, all within the DMs, and it's secure, and nobody even has to know you're actually using the feature. That's another important feature. And all of these things, when you look at from the savings you're getting from the cost to all of these additional features that you're getting at no additional cost, the sky's the limit on what we can do. I'm more excited about what developers will do with the APIs when they have access to them.
So it's been a wonderful time having you talk to us about WifiCall Hub by Tizeti, and we really are looking forward to seeing how the market is going to be respond to this. And I mean, this is an interesting time, and a lot of things are out there. So we hope to see how this, play a very key role in the communication space in Nigeria in the future.
Well, thank you, Fine, and thanks to your team for coming down all the way to let it come to us.